and welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam. Very long day yesterday because I'm not used to going to the movies after work on Tuesdays. Because there usually isn't a new release on a Tuesday, or so much coming out in that period that you end up with a 3-day, like because movies come out Thursday, you have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to really plow through and get everything, done. So if there's 3 releases in a weekend, that's a lot, and it's unlikely, if ever, that there are 3 releases in a weekend. So the fact that, I understand why they put out Clerks 3 on Tuesday, because it's a Fathom event, and Fathom event usually go Tuesday, Thursday, or Tuesday subsequent Tuesday. I understand that. I'm just very tired because I usually don't see Fathom event movies. And as a result, it kind of throws everything off. But I put up a review last night. I may not have been the most coherent when I recorded it, but the movie's pretty good. And I'm probably going to... I want to watch it again before the end of the year. I don't know when it's going to streaming. I don't know when it's going to DVD Blu-ray. But I am going to watch the movie again before I go, before the end of the year. Because as of right now, it'll probably make my top 10 list at the end of the year. I could see it as a solid number 8, number 9. But I don't think that, I want to just confirm, like, when I did the top 10 list for, when I did the top 5, the mid-year top 5, and we did that on the podcast, and I did the Smithtown Chronicle, it was, what's it called, it was, like, the number 1 and the number 2 slot, I needed to, when I watched those 2 movies once, it was Everything Everywhere All at Once and The Northman. When I saw those 2 movies, there were very clear delineation points where I was like, this movie is going to be in that top 5. And then the same went for the Batman being in the top 10 after I saw the Batman. I was like, this is very clear. There's something about the ending of Clerks 3 that I want to see if, knowing the ending going in is going to change my viewing experience. And if so, does that impact how I feel about the movie after seeing it a second time? I don't know if I'm going to see it in the theater again because I got to pay out of pocket every time I go to see a Fathom event, but and I would have to go this weekend all the way to like a far theater to go see it for said second time. But who knows? It's an interesting kind of, idea. It is a weird situation, though, because it's like, usually when you talk about a movie being in the top 10, your thought is, I'm sorry, completely off topic, but I'm behind this truck, and the truck has a giant Let's Go Brandon thing on it. And I'm not saying a flag, which, alright, a flag is one thing, but it is painted onto the truck as it's the slogan of the company. And I don't care what your political views are, be it, Republican or Democrat, in this specific situation. If you run a business and you put your political views that clear in your business marketing, because at the end of the day, your truck is your marketing. If you own a trucking company, it is how people will recognize your company. If your brand is associated and you're with, your political identity, I inherently will not hire you, regardless of who you support. Like, if someone pulled up, like, I'm a registered Democrat. I don't 100% approve of Biden on a regular basis, but more often than not, I would align there than I would with anything on the other platform. And I think if you listen to this podcast, I tend to lean further to the left. And if someone pulled up and I hired someone to do something for me, and they pulled up and they had a Biden-Harris sticker on their truck, I would be like, look, you're entitled to your opinion, but by putting that on your truck, you're cutting yourself off to about half of the people, give or take, who are going to do business. That's not good business sense, and it makes me hesitant to hire someone who does that in any case, because it's like, you're doing something dumb. Like, you don't want to cut off half your business. But anyway, it was the top 5. I think it could be interesting. It could be interesting to see where it lands after a second viewing. Because if I don't see it second time before the end of the year, I feel like it'll be in the top 10, and I don't know if the ending caught me by surprise, and that's what did it. Like, pushed it over the edge for me. Who knows though? We'll find out come December, or whenever I get to see this movie for a second time, because that could be, never. that could be after a substantial amount of time has passed. It could be that I don't see it a second time until until it comes out on DVD, which could be in early 2023. In which case, it'll be on the top 10 list probably, unless, like, I see Babylon before the end of the year, and Babylon does very well, or like I want to dance somebody, and that does very well. But we'll see. So, all of that's a way to pad out the runtime a little bit, because Harley Quinn, and I said this before, the half-hour episodes I think are tripping me up. And for those of you who noticed that I did the first episode of Season 6 of Rick and Morty, and then didn't do the second episode, and why this is coming so late, is Rick and Morty airs Sunday nights at 11, which means I would watch them on Monday. When I went to watch Rick and Morty on Monday, I had found that to get into the Adult Swim app to watch Rick and Morty, you need to have a cable provider access. And what I mean by that is, if you have cable, you get a code of sorts. Like you get a code. You get a mystical password. No, you get to sign in with your username and password into your cable account, because all of these cable things also have an online component now that allow you access to, watch these things online, included in your subscription. So, to put it bluntly, rather than, and again, I don't understand the thought process behind this, but rather than put it, where anyone can just tune in and watch it, especially considering how big the internet fan base is for Rick and Morty, and how young the audience for Rick and Morty tends to skew. And I say young, I mean, we were young when the show started, but it's been almost a decade at this point, so a lot of us are almost in our 30s, but people don't have cable in a lot of cases, and to lock it behind Hulu Plus Live TV, or needing to have physical cable, seems like a misplay. And I was going to put both of these into one episode because they're both comedies, they're both kind of similar in that regard, and unlike She-Hulk, which is also a comedy and also a half hour long, there's usually enough to talk about with She-Hulk to do an entire half hour, and I feel like that's kind of an issue for this movie, if I'm being honest. This show, where it's like doing a like trying to find enough to cover for Harley Quinn is the rough part, I think, at least, because it's like there is an overarching story, and the way it interacts with the overarching story is pretty funny, but like even this episode is like, okay, so Poison Ivy, is going to help out with saving Gotham, and then she realizes, wait, this is my plan all along. I'm going to terraform Gotham. And then Harley has to stop her, and it's like there's some great comedic moments, and Bruce has some great, comedic moments as well, and it's just this kind of weird, just a weird situation all around, and you end up with not enough content for a full podcast episode, for lack of a better word. I think that the show is great, but it's just like the jokes are all really fun. What am I going to do? Sit here and tell the jokes again? That's not going to help. Maybe for season 4 I won't do weekly episodes. Maybe for season 4 I'll do the first 3 or the first however many they drop, and then a summation at the end. Maybe that'll be a better way to handle it. But who knows? I think that might be a better way to address the show in a meaningful way. What else have we got? But yeah, Harley Quinn is thoroughly watchable, and it is continuing to be so. I think there's only one episode left this season, and that comes out this week. Still got some time left. I mean, I think my favorite thing about recording the podcast this way is that it becomes kind of a way to, it gives me something to do while I'm driving to work. And it makes that trip less boring. I am going to do a 30-minute reviews, probably today, on the way home from work, about what they announced at yesterday's Nintendo Direct. I heard there was a state of play too, but I was at the Clerks 3 screening when when that happened. I haven't seen any news about it, so maybe they didn't announce anything major. Who knows? Who the fuck knows? Not me, that's for sure. Oh boy, traffic. Yay. Delays to exit 53. Oh, fuck me, I should have gotten off the highway. Alright, I'll get off at the next exit in 1 mile in bumper-to-bumper traffic. So, what else do we want to talk about? I updated the website. I don't know if I've talked about the website. I acquired the domain names for 30-minute reviews, Beware of Spoilers, and also this other one. What the fuck's it called? Multiple World Productions. MultipleWorldProductions.com is going to be the official website for all things of this podcast. So this podcast, if you're a fan of it, you can go to multipleworldproductions.com, and that will bring you directly to a site that's got all of the relevant information about this podcast, as well as ways you can support by buying. I don't ask anyone to support through ads. There are ads on the podcast, but that is Spreaker doing Spreaker's thing. And when I say we see pennies on the dollar on that, that is a not disparaging way to put it. That is an accurate way to put it. We see pennies on the dollar on the ads that come in that way. And the way that anyone who wants to support the show can support the show more efficiently is to go on the website multipleworldproductions.com and what's it called, and pick up any of the books that I've written, and because that'll be $2.99 each, and we get a fair amount out of that in a royalty when you buy that, and that goes more directly to doing stuff. It is the quickest, most efficient way to actually support the show, rather than all of that. also giving us 5-star ratings on Apple Podcasts helps a lot too. So if you could do that, that'd be great. Because I was looking at like what's it called, and the 30-minute reviews site and the Beware of Spoilers site both just redirect to the Spreaker pages. And the reason I did that is because Multiple World Productions goes to the website, and I don't want to redirect those other ones to pages on the website. I feel like that's a waste of the domains. I'd rather just use those to redirect to the Spreaker site, which gives you a full list of episodes, plus also gives you a full like catalog to explain where you can where you can listen to the shows on podcasting services of your choice, be it Stitcher, be it Google Podcasts, be it Apple Podcasts, be it anything like that. You can just go on and subscribe. And I think the real strength of Beware of Spoilers is that subscribing to it, you'll just know when something you care about happens, because we don't focus on just new comic book shit or just new animated shit. Like I feel like one of the things that a lot of podcasts do is they are too focused on things. We kind of just do it all over here, where it's like we do a little bit of everything, and then if there's something on it you like, that's great. If there's nothing on it you like, that is also fine, because there will eventually be something you will like on this channel. If you subscribe, you'll find something eventually, be it a video game review, be it a review of a new movie, be it a review of a new TV show, be they have a cape, or be they just be a regular person who has a TV show about them. Why haven't I talked about the Emmys? I don't give a shit about the Emmys. We do the Oscar show because it's easier to keep track of the Oscar-nominated movies. It is substantially harder to keep track of every TV show that is running, which is why the TV content tends to be skewed to what gets a lot of advertising money, and usually not network TV content. So like I did watch some network TV content this year, but most of it was streaming. I would say the vast majority of what I watched this year was streaming. And I think the Emmys are a lot to keep track of everything going on. I did start watching Arcane though, because it won Best Animated Series, I think. Yeah. Who knows? What else is happening this week? We have She-Hulk, the new, new episode. I'm thinking, I had this idea 2 days ago while I was driving to work, and I'm going to explore it a little bit, but I've been so engrossed in these 3 projects I've been working on. I'm taking up a lot of time, because I put up first of all, building the website, or setting the website up, takes a lot of time. It's not a quick process. What was I saying? I have the 3 scripts I'm currently working on. I put the pre-order up for June's book. We Are Better Than Our Worst Instincts, it's called. It's a sequel to Our Past Does Not Define Us, which is a very clunky title for the rogue spec script that I wrote and then redid with original characters. I'm debuting feature debut of Nanite and Rosebud in this one. So if you read the not canceled, but it's so, like, the Kindle Vella stuff is just so time consuming for me to have to sit down and physically, like, write, like, a ton of stuff to put it up every week, and the return on investment on it was not great in terms of time. I'd rather just do it as a script and release it that way. So I think eventually there will be those stories redone as scripts. also, so we are, there is that coming out. There is Echo Delta Part 1, which is coming out in November. Echo Delta Part 2 will come out next November. And then there's another script I'm working on. I think when I talked about Prelude, the short film, Prelude is currently being vetted for budgeting right now. I had the budget at about $4,000, give or take. And I think the $4,000 was including the laptop, so I think we already saved $400 on the projected budget, just on that, which means we can put a little bit more money into craft services. But I think that I think $4,000 is what we need, and the amount of money that it is in contention for will be a lot more if we get it, which I have a feeling we probably won't. But if we don't get it, that's fine. We'll find outside funding elsewhere. The $15,000 that it is up for, it is in consideration for. That'd be great if we got that, because then I think we could even do. We might, and I got to look into how much it would cost. But the second part of Prelude is also done. We could probably get that done too. They do 2 shorts for that $15,000 price if we get that. Or we can just put a lot more money into paying actors. Because it's a very cheap movie, shot very cheap. We can get better cameras with the 15 and all of that. That'll be where most of that money goes. But yeah. There is a feature that I'm probably going to do after the short, if the short works. I've been watching a lot of independent movies lately that I will say have been influencing influencing the script. To everything that I write is influenced by what I watched recently. Obviously, there is now a sequence in Echo Delta that I don't think would have been there the way that this is had I not seen Dragon Ball Superhero when I did in relation to writing that part of the script. I don't think that I watched I watched Francis Ha very recently. I watched Before Midnight very recently. Watched Clerks again. Clerks 3 I just watched yesterday. So these are all things that are going into and informing this new script. I will say, I feel like there's something, depending on if I can make it work within the confines of the story, there might be something from The Girl from Plainville that may make its way into the script. Who knows? We'll see. Because they did something in there that I really liked, that I want to see if I can implement here. But we will see. We will definitely see. That script, that one, I'm not going to release publicly. I think that'll be the first one that I've written that doesn't get released as an ebook, because that's one that I'm going to try to get funding for. Because I feel like it could definitely work as as something that I can get produced. I could probably get it done for, it'd probably be a little bit more expensive in location fees to begin with, but maybe $100,000, $150,000, because the cast is a little bit bigger, and location fees, it's a feature. Expensive. Movies are expensive now. It'd be nice if we all lived in a world where they could make Inconvenience on a budget of $227,000 and change. I don't think that is reflective of reality in 2022, though. But who knows? We'll see. So until then, have a great rest of your week.